Like doing a vegetable garden just because when you grow your own vegetables, it is the highest level of nutrients you can get in a vegetable when it's coming out of your own yard, because you just take it straight out of the garden and go and cook it up in your kitchen, and there's no time for it to sit on a shelf and lose any of its nutrients. So. Hey guys, it's Amanda and Bill, and we are just going to show you getting our garden started this year. We're getting it going a little bit late. As you know, we've been kind of busy in the early spring this year, but it's never too late to get started in May. And we just wanted to show you what Bill is doing to get it going this year. We had these raised beds that just happened to be here in the house that we moved to, so we're really thankful for that. And Bill has just kind of rehabilitated them because they were all full of weeds and grown over and everything.
I sort of shoveled all the soil over to one side and laid a layer of chicken wire underneath to prevent the moles from getting into it, and then put the soil on the chicken wire and rolled the chicken wire the rest of the way out and then spread it out again. And then I put 2 cubic foot bags of mulch on top. And I'm just sort of mixing by hand, mixing the mulch with the dirt right where I'm planting things. And I'm mixing in a little bit of fertilizer as well. Any organic fertilizer will work. This just happens to be what I'm using.
It's Dr. Earth.
We have these little onion sets that are going to be planted, and they will grow into full-size onions. That's the theory anyway. I'm planting them a little late this year for onions, but could have planted these in March. But one thing you have to make sure you do is plant the up end up and the down end down.
So in case you haven't seen our garden video from last year we did it all in pots since we had just moved into our house. And this is the first year we're doing it in a garden bed at our new house. At our old house, Bill had done a huge garden, so we're kind of easing back into things here. And we love to grow a bunch of our own vegetables. And we think it's a great thing for Alex as well, just to see where his food is coming from. He's still 2, so he doesn't quite understand all of that yet, but we're looking forward to, as the kids get older, they can help in the garden as well and just have a real good idea of where their food is coming from.
I may reserve a few more of these onions for planting in various places around the outsides of things because deer don't like them.
So onions are a deer repellent.
Yep.
Alright, and now we're planting the potatoes. Putting on the fertilizer.
Potatoes from the store. I would not recommend it because they've often been sprayed with a growth inhibitor.
I see. But you can reuse...
Sprouting is considered undesirable if you're going to eat them.
But you can reuse your own potatoes from previous years.
You can.
So you just cut the potatoes in half and put them in, huh?
Yeah, you can cut them smaller if you want, but I've got like more potatoes than I really need, so I'm just cutting them in half.
So if you were starting from scratch and this is your first time doing a garden, where would you get the soil to start out?
You can buy it from like a gardening store.
And you can get organic soil too, right?
Yeah, although I'm just not crunchy enough to care that much.
So
It's
we're
dirt.
moderately crunchy, folks. We're moderately crunchy.
It's dirt. You know, I'm
Dirt
not
is
worrying
dirt.
that much about organic seed either. As long as it's not GMO seed, the fact that a previous generation of plants may have had pesticides and herbicides sprayed on it, how much of that really carries through to the entire next generation?
Yeah, but the way, once it's planted in our garden, it's virtually organic.
Yeah.
We don't spray anything.
Occasionally I will cheat a little, and if the plant looks like it needs it, put a little Miracle Grow on it.
But that's fertilizer and not pesticide.
There we go. So that's everything. Now we're just going to cover it all up.
So we also like doing a vegetable garden just because when you grow your own vegetables, it is the highest level of nutrients you can get in a vegetable when it's coming out of your own yard, because you just take it straight out of the garden and go and cook it up in your kitchen, and there's no time for it to sit on a shelf and lose any of its nutrients. So that's another reason we love gardening.
I was listening to a TED Talk on NPR about who lives the longest, and they said they looked at different communities of long-lived people, and one of the things they found was that they all had strong family ties, and they all had not necessarily gym memberships, but lifestyles that just led to activity, and one of the most common activities was gardening.
That's a good one. It's pretty physical, and I think that having our kids help too kind of gives them a sense of ownership and a connection to their food too, so it makes them a little more interested in vegetables. Now, we have yet to test this theory as we have a very picky 2-year-old, but we're hoping.
Once he's old enough to understand.
Maybe next year he might really enjoy helping you and actually understand the concept that, oh, I planted this and look at it growing.
Yep.
And now look at these vegetables. I grew those. I want to eat them.
Yep. So that's that bed. Now you just gotta water it a little bit and it's ready to go.
Did Teddy just squirt you with the sprinkler?
See if this will work.
So now you're watering the bed.
Yeah.
How often do you water it?
Well, when they're young, probably once every other day, every 2 days, but it depends on if it rains.
Alex, did Daddy spray you with the sprinkler? And if it rains, you don't need to worry as much about it.
Yeah. Here's my pot garden army in formation, ready to be planted.
Remember the pot garden from last year? I'll have that link down below.
Just going to be adding some compost mulch and fertilizer and kind of tilling it into the existing soil on each one and then planting away.
So this is all the soil from last year.
Yep. Didn't really have to weed them much because you can just stack them.
That's a nice thing about using the pots.
And so the ones underneath get no sunlight, and the one on the very top, you can tell this was the top one, is high enough up that all the water just drains down to lower pots and it doesn't get enough moisture at the very top.
Oh. So you're going to put the organic fertilizer in it?
Yep. This is what I'm going to do with the extra potatoes. Since I ran out of space in the garden bed, I built a little potato habitat.
So you're just going to have extra potatoes growing here?
Yep.
Alright, that thing's pretty ugly.
I consider it rustic.
It's rustic art.
It puts the rust in rustic.
That's rustic art right there.
Just kind of, dirt is nice and soft, so I just kind of put them in at ground level.
What kind of lettuce is that?
Should be a tag for it around here somewhere.
It's like a red lettuce.
Yeah, something like that. So we're planting the lettuce here because this will prevent it from bolting as quickly. Bolting is when the plant decides it wants to go to seed, and the lettuce will grow a tall spindly stalk and the leaves will be less tasty, and pretty soon you won't have lettuce anymore. So we need to make the lettuce think it's springtime for as long as possible. So this location only gets sun from about 9 or 10 in the morning till about 1 in the afternoon.
And then it's in the shade because of this bush.
The rest of the time. So every plant that you buy at the nursery will say full sun. That's not really true.
Not true of lettuce.
Not true of lettuce. Or spinach. Or any of these cold weather leafy greens.
What kinds are these? They're a mixture?
Yeah, it's just a mixture.
Bill always likes getting lots of different kinds of varieties of things just for fun.
I'm just kind of gently patting it down. This soil is the mixture that I used last year, which involves fertilizer, organic fertilizer, mulch, and
compost.
well, yeah, and there's still some compost from previous years. This charred mix. Even the roots are red.
That's interesting. Since we live in the Pacific Northwest, normally if you wanted to start plants by seed, you need to have a greenhouse just because it's gray so much of the year here. But you bought these as starts at the garden store, right?
Yep.
How much do they cost about?
Little starts like this, not more than $1 or $2 each.
Yeah, so it's really pretty cost effective. If you're thinking of it in terms of groceries too, I mean, you're just spending $1 per plant and you get lettuce and leafy greens all summer long. So it saves you a lot of money too. So these are the rest of the starts that we've got.
So we got spinach, broccoli, more lettuce, kale, and this one is called Mild Mesclun Mix.
Never heard of that before.
Yeah. So it's just kind of a salad mix.
What do we have here?
Broccoli. Same location as last year. I ran out of space over in the other area.
Alright.
So I put a little broccoli here.
Now we're watering everything.
One improvement this year is these guys, which should help.
Oh, that's good. The little plastic trays. Oh, and somebody came to say hi.
Hi, buddy. What's going on? Daddy watering?
You came out without your shoes on, silly. And here we have the strawberries.
What's in here? Is this strawberries?
Alex, what are these?
He's looking for one.
Yeah.
Not ready yet.
This is a strawberry plant. These are the herbs that we have left over from last year. What are they again?
This is an oregano, a rosemary, and I think these are both thyme.
Okay. Oh, and we have a little escape artist here. Come back here, you. Right. We've got all of the starts planted now. Now we're just watering them.
What do you think, buddy? What is that?
Are we growing vegetables, Alex? Are you going to eat some of these? Are you going to eat some of these greens? What do you think? Here are all the starts.